Everyone, and welcome to the July Advocacy webinar. We are getting things transitioned over to Tony shortly. And Tony, over to you.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this rainy, at least down here in Columbus, Ohio, rainy July morning. Hoping that everything is good your way. Have some things to talk about today. Wanted to really quickly go over marijuana and what is going on with that. If you have not heard, the Ohio Rights Group did not have the necessary signatures to get on the 2014 ballot. They collected about 100,000 of the 385,000 needed. So we don't have to worry about that this year. Very, very excited about that. I actually give a, they keep saying, well, there's not enough money that is being given and all of this kind of stuff. I quite frankly think it is a lack of organization on their part and a great deal of organization on the side of prevention and treatment and everyone else that is helping with this issue. So very, very excited about that. They have vowed, however, not to give up. The 100,000 signatures, they are not. They're not something that will go away. They will be active for the next however long until they actually get them. So for them to go away would be a mistake. So they are going out there. They're still collecting signatures. They knew they weren't going to get it. They were at ComFest, which is a festival here in Columbus in the last week, and they're continuing to collect signatures. So 2015, in my opinion, 2015 would not be the wisest decision on their part to try to make this legal or to try to put this on a ballot because of the low voter turnout. In 2016, with the presidential election coming up in 16, that might be the better way to go if I were them. But right now, we don't have anything, at least on the 14 ballot, to worry about. And just want to thank all of you for your hard work, for getting the word out. Seeing many of your names in news articles and all of those kind of things, and doing so many speaking engagements and educating the community. Really, really want to thank you for all the work you've done. And again, I attribute a lot of that to what you all are doing out there. So congratulations, another win for us. And if you want to see something funny, go to the Ohio Rights Group Facebook page and watch them rip John Pardee apart for not getting this on this year's ballot. So a lot of angry pot smokers out there, which I thought mellowed you out, but I won't go into that. Marijuana also, there's still a federal issue that we're working to try to keep out of the Senate bill. Basically, what would happen is in the Department of Justice budget, there is Senator Rand Paul put an amendment in that would not allow any federal funds to go to I guess manage any of the marijuana trafficking and those types of things in the states where medical marijuana is legal. This was passed in the House. The Senate, Dianne Feinstein, the chair of that committee, took it out. Senator Rand Paul put it back in. So we really don't want that to be put in Senate. That would be a law, a federal law at that point, that no money could go to the Department of Justice to enforce marijuana laws in states where medical marijuana or recreational marijuana is legalized. So we're still trying to get word out on that, having people call. We have some things going on at the federal level that I'm trying to to get worked out. So maybe we can get you some information on that in the next few weeks. Drug-Free Action Alliance, the next couple weeks, should have sector sheets coming out. They are actually finishing touches, making it all pretty and all of that kind of stuff. That will be for a free benefit to all SPECA members. So the sector sheets will have facts that kind of imply to business and education and faith and the faith-based communities, medical communities, law enforcement, parents, and youth. So we will get those out. When those are available, we will let everyone know that they will be in our member center. Again, specifically for SPECA members, what you all are trying to do out there. If you're meeting with someone from a faith-based community, well, how does this affect you? Here's how it affects you. You can give them that sheet, and they don't have to worry about things they don't really have concern over. Also, we're doing a 30-second to a minute YouTube piece that will be kind of an infographic, a movie infographic that will talk about marijuana legalization, what it's doing to other states. It will be kind of a not cartoony, but something that will be interesting to watch. There will not be live people or anything like that. We're working with a group who's worked with Bill Maher on some of his stuff. I'm not a real big fan of Bill Maher, but it was a really fascinating video the way he did it. So we're working with a group from that works with him, that works with some other folks, some big corporations around the country, and trying to get this out. We would love for this to go viral. It's not, it will again be something free on YouTube. You would be able to use in your own communities. We're calling it small print, big deal at this point. So that should be done in the next, hopefully by the time we talk in August, that will be done, and that will be available for all of your use as well. So hopefully you'll be able to use that. On the federal level, just wanted to go over the Supreme Court of Colorado is going to hear a case in the next few months. Brandon Coates versus Dish Network. As you're talking to businesses around this, around your community, this is a court case they might want to pay attention to. Brandon Coates was a gentleman who had a car accident. Is a quadriplegic, is a medical marijuana user out in Colorado. Dish Network, because they have a zero tolerance policy. Random drug test, he popped positive on his drug test, was fired, and so he has sued Dish Network for firing him for using marijuana, even though it's legal in the state of Colorado. Each court along the way in Colorado has said, well, it's federally illegal, and you can be fired for that. However, again, it's in the Supreme Court of Colorado. Very, very important case that is happening, especially with what happened in New Mexico. New Mexico, a court of appeals in that state actually upheld an employee's decision to use medical marijuana. He was injured back in 2000, had a back injury. He was a fellow who did the he was a car body shop repair guy, and injured his back on the job. Used marijuana, was fired for using marijuana as a medicine. However, what the New Mexico court has actually said, they haven't required the employer to take him back. However, they haven't required the employer and the workers' compensation system out there to actually pay for his marijuana. So, which is interesting, considering it's a federally illegal drug. So that's an interesting case. The employer does not know whether they will take that case to their Supreme Court. They're still, this is pretty fresh. So this is kind of new news, and one of the first of its kind to ever happen, where a state said that an employer has to pay for the employee's marijuana if they're using it medicinally, and their workers' compensation system. I don't know how that will work and whether the federal government will come down. Also, what I just thought was interesting, talking about New Mexico, former New Mexico Governor Gary Johnson was recently named CEO of a company called Cannabis Sativa. And Cannabis Sativa and another company called Kush had a merger to be one of the largest marijuana distribution companies in the United States. They mainly deal with products such as candies, edibles, those types of things. They don't deal in smoked marijuana, so they're more of an edible and dessert and beverage type of service. But I just thought it was interesting that Gary Johnson, who actually under his call pushed for medical marijuana in his state, is actually now reaping the financial benefits by actually becoming CEO of this company. So that's what's going on nationally. State news, lame duck session. We talked a little bit last time about basically a lame duck session. We've got every member of the House lined up for election, re-election. Some people will be term limited out. So there will be a lot of fast-moving legislation. This is where you will wake up one morning and there will not be a bill on the agenda, and the next morning it will be passed. So very, very fast-moving legislation. Some of the things that John Pardee in his letter of concession that they didn't have their signatures said that two bills that they're going to work on are a CBD bill and a hemp bill to try to get hemp legalized in this state. They're meeting with legislators right now, from what I understand, and so we will have to closely follow that, and we're going to start educating our representatives. We're going to be down at the State House talking to them about that, those two things, and why that's not a good idea. And hopefully you will be able to as well. If you ever want a meeting with your legislator, this is probably the best time, because especially if they're up for re-election, because they want, this is the time they need to be with their people. So if you haven't already, great time to get a meeting with your legislator in his or her district. So give them a call, ask for a meeting, let them know what their what kind of issues there are. They would certainly appreciate that. Especially surrounding drugs and alcohol and other behavioral health issues. They love to know those types of things so that they can focus on those in their campaigns and some real issues that are in their community. So great time to do that. If you haven't already, schedule those meetings in their district. And a great way to start a relationship with your legislator. Also, in the lame duck session, it has been promised that House Bill 501 will be rewritten to actually make it not illegal. House Bill 501 was basically going to ban a new drug approved by the FDA called Zohydro. So Zohydro is a stronger opiate, from what I understand, than OxyContin and those types of things. So the FDA just approved it. Ohio, Representative Ryan Smith and Representative Robert Sprague wanted to ban it in this state. However, during testimony from the Ohio Pharmacy Board, they did share information that if the FDA approves it, then a state law cannot make it illegal. So they have to, what they're going to do with Zohydro is go back to the makers of Zohydro, Representative Smith and Sprague, work with Zogenix, who makes this new opiate, and to write some legislation to better control it. The problem also, not only that it's stronger, but the other problem with Zohydro is that they will not put tamper-proof technology on it. So it's easier to snort, it's easier to crush up, those types of things. So that was the real concern from Representative Smith and Sprague. So I think we have a question here.
Eileen has a question, and her question is, can you send us the points on the two bills so we can at least call or email our reps?
The bills have not been written yet, and I'm guessing you're talking about the marijuana bills. They have not been written yet. They're working with legislators. My guess is they're probably going to go to our buddy Representative Hagan. He seems to author a lot of these pro-marijuana bills. There are no draft bills yet, any of those types of things. But we do have some CBD fact sheets that we can give you, and I will try to find some stuff on him to give some talking points on that. So there is no legislation yet, but again, this is where lame duck, this stuff moves so fast. I remember when I was in JFS, I literally, I'm not kidding, I got a bill passed in like a week and a half, which is unheard of, just because it was during a lame duck session and we needed it done. So when I'll send you those types of that type of information, and when we do get some legislation, we will also send that out as well. So hope that gets you get your questions answered. Also, powdered alcohol. Again, going over real quickly what the status of that is. Powdered alcohol is basically exactly what it sounds like. It is alcohol that is in a powdered form. That they claim it can be sprinkled on your favorite ice cream and pizza and everything else. If you want a little kick to your ice cream. However, the U.S. Treasury Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau approved labels in error. From what we understand, they have corrected those errors, and this could become legal in the fall. Senator Chuck Schumer, who's from New York State, he's a federal legislator. He's pushing for the Food and Drug Administration to ban this product, calling it the Kool-Aid for underage drinkers. And other states have been proactive in actually taking this on. South Carolina has done a one-year ban. They just passed that. It's actually waiting the governor's signature now. They're looking at it to kind of study what the effects would be of this product on underage drinkers, on especially younger drinkers. And how this has an effect. They want to see how easy it is. These are little packets, like a Capri Sun. My youngest drinks Capri Sun. Those little packets. That's about the size of packets they are. So they can be pretty easily hidden. So they're doing a one-year ban there. Alaska has already banned the product. They have banned these and other crystal-like products, alcoholic products. Vermont just passed their ban, and they're waiting for signature. And New York literally they just passed the Senate, and they're now going, that bill, Senate Bill 7217A-2013, is now going to the House to so that it can be debated there. And basically what their language says is that it would prohibit anyone from selling, offering for sale, or providing for consumption any powdered or crystalline alcoholic product. So some states are already taking measures to make sure that this product is not in in their state. So what we would like to do actually, so what should Ohio do? Should we go for, and I brought this up at a SPECA meeting recently, should we go for local ordinances? I know that Allison has met with a community who is very, very interested in taking this on a local level and doing some work on it there. Do we try for a state ban? Is it legal to ban it in Ohio at the local level? Do we leave it alone? I mean, is it just like, oh well, whatever? So what we want to do is July 28th in the afternoon, and we'll get you more details on a call number and those types of things. We would like to have a study group to kind of basically debate this issue. What our next step should be as a prevention field, as a group of coalitions, and then how we actually make that work. So July 28th, again, it would be a conference call. We'll get you information. We'd love to have all of you on that call to share your concerns, share your any feedback you might have, and then what next steps might be. Because again, this is something, as we go back to what I was talking about, lame duck. If we wanted to do a state ban, lame duck would be a great way to do it because we could get it. We could try to get it passed very, very quickly. Interestingly enough, one of the alcohol industry people, I spoke to him, and he was very much against powdered alcohol. So we might have an unlikely partner in that. I don't know how that works with the licensing folks and all of those in the Bureau of Commerce. What is it, the alcohol? The board that approves all the rules. What am I thinking of? The Liquor Commission. Thank you, Allison, for that. My gosh, my brain went nuts. So we will have that call in the afternoon on July 28th. Again, I'll send that information out with a call number, and be ready to discuss that. July 11th, which is this Friday at 9 a.m., Nationwide Insurance, Ford Motor Company, and the Recording Artists Against Drug Driving will be holding a drug driving summit. From what I understand, it's the first ever in the nation. I don't know what local communities do, but from what these three groups have been saying, this is the first summit that is taking place on this issue, and they're focusing on drug driving. RAD used to actually be Recording Artists Against Drunk Driving, but they've expanded to drug driving. There will be a morning group of speakers that will include folks like Michael Botticelli, who is the ONDCP acting director, the NTSB acting chairman Chris Hart, NHTSA's regional administrator Michael Witter, the GHSA executive director John Atkins. You've got Ralph Hinkson will be there speaking. FDA, there will be a medical officer from the FDA there. These will all be your speakers in the morning, and then in the afternoon there will be a panel of experts, of which the Ohio Department of Public Safety Director John Bourne will be on that panel, as well as Dr. John Clapp from the Ohio State University, Sergeant Wesley Stout from the Ohio DRE, which is Drug Recognition Experts. They're a special unit within, I think, the State Highway Patrol to recognize people who are driving under the influence of drugs, and how they can do that through different means. Also, our own Marcy, our executive director, Marcy Seidel, will be on that panel, as well as the Ohio Association of Broadcasters, a young person from the Students Against Destructive Decisions, which is FAD, and the National Air and Space Intelligence Center will also be on that, and he will be talking about strategies deploying to combat alcohol and drug-impaired driving on and off base. So it's mainly how you can do this with how you can combat drug driving with your uniformed folks there. So that should be, if you want to, this is a free event. If you would like to come, it is at Nationwide Insurance Building, which is on High Street. I think it's High and Nationwide, downtown Columbus. Again, it's a free event. The website that you would have to go to sign up for this, to register for this, is right there. It's collegeisrad.wufoo.com/forms, and I'm going to have, we'll have someone, I think an invitation has been sent out on this, but we're going to have another one sent out on this today because it's an awful long website. So if you'd like to do that, I think it'd be quite valuable. And you know, as you consider drug driving, so there ought to be an awful lot of great information shared there as well. So hopefully everybody can go there. And did anybody have any questions? I know we're ending a little early.
There wasn't a question, just a statement, and Eileen said that with regards to the summit, this is kind of a pilot program, and they may be rolling out to other states. And I also wanted to let folks know about the Ohio Rights Group, that you don't have to like or be a fan or friend of their page, but you can go to Ohio Rights Group through Facebook, and you can see all that information there that you mentioned earlier in the call. If you do have questions, please enter it into the questions section of your GoToWebinar browser.
Excellent. Well, anybody else? Are there any other announcements or anything? I know that there are other events going on around the state, and didn't know if anybody had an announcement or any questions.
There are no questions thus far. The next advocacy call will be on August 12th, and we will be traveling around, spending some time in nice and humid Orlando. I'll be at the National Council for Problem Gambling Conference this week, so if y'all are heading down, please be sure to say hi. And Tony and Marcy will be at the CADCA mid-year in a couple weeks, so we'll be heading there and hopefully getting some great information to bring back. Mary did have a question. Are any of the sector sheets for older adults?
We didn't focus on that. However, that is something that you know, we could certainly come up with. We're going to have a template, so as we think of other sectors, we can absolutely create those as we go along. So I think that is a great suggestion, Mary, and we will start work on those as well. So thank you so much for the suggestion.
And that's all the questions that we have right now. Thank you all for joining us. Again, we will be meeting back here on August 12th at 10 o'clock, so we look forward to seeing you then. Thank you all. Have a wonderful, hot, steamy July, and we'll talk to you in August. Thanks. Bye-bye.